Bernie's genius strategy, and why he is now unstoppable. My name is Daniel. Now let's do this. In 2016, Bernie got into the race late, too late, and was not able to build a diverse enough coalition. Still, Bernie manages to nearly win against the most powerful political figure of the time. And when he lost, he went out and did over 40 events for Hillary. He did everything he can to help her win. She did not listen to him. Instead, she moved further to the right. And she did not get the Rust Belt vote. And she loses against Donald Trump. Did she take personal responsibility? No. She goes out and blames Bernie Sanders. Bernie, meanwhile, in 2016, 2017, stays in the public eye, does several media appearances here and there on different shows. 2018, still, he stays in the public eye, and he keeps focusing on the issue at hand. Meanwhile, every time he gets asked, "Are you going to run again?" he doesn't answer until February 19th, 2019. Oh yeah, baby. Bernie announces his campaign. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president, and I'm asking you today to be part of an unprecedented grassroots campaign of 1 million active volunteers in every state in our country. Our campaign is not only about defeating Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history. It is not only about winning the Democratic nomination and the general election. Our campaign is about transforming our country and creating a government based on the principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice. Our campaign is about taking on the powerful special interests that dominate our economic and political life. The only way we will win this election and create a government and an economy that works for all is with a grassroots movement, the likes of which has never been seen in American history. They may have the money and the power. We have the people. That is why we need 1 million Americans who will commit themselves to this campaign. Together, you and I and our 2016 campaign began the political revolution. Now it is time to complete that revolution and implement the vision that we fought for. So here is my question for you. Will you stand with me as part of a 1 million-person grassroots movement which can not only win the Democratic nomination, not only win the general election, but most importantly, help transform this country so that finally we have a government that works for all of us and not just the few. Together, we can create a nation that leads the world in the struggle for peace and for economic, racial, social, and environmental justice. And together, we can defeat Donald Trump and repair the damage he has done to our country. Brothers and sisters, if we stand together, there is no limit to what we can accomplish. I hope you'll join me. Thank you very much.
Within 1 day of releasing that campaign announcement, he raises over $6 million US. 40% of that new donors that didn't donate to him in the 2016 campaign. And 12,000 of those donors were registered Republicans. He announces he is aiming towards 1 million volunteers. Quite a huge number. And Bernie likes to put concrete goals to aim towards and fulfill. Now, how long do you think it took him to reach that 1 million volunteer count? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? Come on, you Bernie supporters, tell me, how long? Yeah, 6 days. You heard me right? Days. 6 days. If he had 1 million on the 6th day of his campaign, how much do you think he has now a year after running one of the most grassroots mass movement campaign in the United States history? It's a couple of million volunteers out there. Nobody knows exactly how many except Bernie Sanders, I guess. And he has been keeping this strength of his grassroots movement somewhat of a secret. He doesn't want the establishment to know just how strong he really is. Each poll that comes out doesn't quite show you the picture of how strong Bernie is, because he brings out independents, non-registered voters, first-time voters that don't get polled. And he is working a ground game. He is going with his volunteers, with his supporters, door to door, phone call by phone call, knocking on doors, canvassing people, and doing rallies after rallies. And he is bypassing the establishment media. He knows the media is not on his side. And he makes his plan how to win, even against all odds. He does not make excuses why he didn't win. Instead, he is taking responsibility and taking action and finding his way, his strategy to win without compromising to his supporters. Throughout the early primary in 2019, right into the second half of 2019, Bernie just focuses on his own message, on what he proposes and which policies he wants to bring to the American people to help the working class. And we've been calling for him, we, his supporters, have been calling for him to be more aggressive also towards his rivals in the primary, to point out how Joe Biden takes fossil fuel money, how Joe Biden has been taking a big PAC, super PAC money, and how he has been fighting for the corporate elite and not for the average working people. But Bernie wouldn't do it throughout 2019. Instead, only focusing on his message, on his vision for the United States. And slowly, throughout the second half of 2019, Bernie starts rising up. Steadily, slowly, even though the media is ignoring him. Sometimes even attributing his best lines in a debate to Elizabeth Warren instead of to him. Yes, this really happened. And did Warren go out and correct the media? No, she didn't. Us in the progressive movement called out the media, and then they came out and corrected it. And then 2020 starts. And it starts badly. Warren and CNN come out with a total hit piece against Bernie. Planned and premeditated. Planted just before the debate in January. Smearing Bernie as a sexist, without providing any proof or witnesses other than Elizabeth Warren herself, and not providing any context in which this might have been said. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders vehemently denies ever have said something like that, and in fact stating the opposite. Check it out.
Let's now turn to an issue that's come up in the last 48 hours. Senator Sanders. CNN reported yesterday that, and Senator Warren confirmed in a statement, that in 2018, you told her that you did not believe that a woman could win the election. Why did you say that?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because this is what Donald Trump and maybe some of the media want. Anybody knows me, knows that it's incomprehensible that I would think that a woman could not be president of the United States. Go to YouTube today. There's a video of me 30 years ago talking about how a woman could become president of the United States. In 2015, I deferred, in fact, to Senator Warren. There was a movement to draft Senator Warren to run for president. And you know what? I stayed back. Senator Warren decided not to run, and I did run afterwards. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president of the United States? And let me be very clear. If any of the women on this stage or any of the men on this stage win the nomination, I hope that's not the case. I hope it's me. But if they do, I will do everything in my power to make sure that they are elected in order to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of our country.
So Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I disagreed.
Warren's campaign has not given any further context or comment. She just throws out this accusation and lets the media run with it. And the media is running with it. They bring on paid, biased body language experts to say Bernie must be lying. They bring on white guys saying Bernie must be a racist. They bring on Obama and Hillary to say, no, we shouldn't trust Bernie, we shouldn't vote for Bernie. Hillary goes and says, nobody likes Bernie. And what's been happening? Bernie hasn't dropped in the polls. Bernie hasn't been staying steady. No, Bernie's going up, clearly up. He is surging. For the first time now in 2020, CNN poll shows Bernie leading nationally. Iowa poll just came out. New Hampshire poll just came out. Both of them showing Bernie leading in double digits. Not 2%, not 5%, over 10%. Leading in the first two primary polls. And very few candidates have ever won both these states. Bernie set to dominate both of them.
This tweet up. This is WBUR, it's considered a pretty good poll, and Bernie Sanders has jumped out to a huge lead. By the way, this is a 14-point surge.
The establishment have played down Bernie's importance. For so long, maybe they started believing it themselves. And now they're noticing, oh shit, Bernie's gonna win. And they're in an all-out panic. They're bringing out everything. They're trying everything. But each attack on him is just making Bernie stronger. Why is this? Because of the ground game Bernie laid throughout all of 2019, laying out how his policies are going to help the average working person. So when the media comes out and attacks him, people are noticing that this is just to stop a true revolutionary movement that's going to help the people. The media doesn't want this. And the people are siding with Bernie and the progressive movement. And Bernie is now hitting back.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Well, we've got some bad news for them. We are not going to cut Social Security. We're going to expand benefits.
Boom! Knockout blow for Joe Biden. It's over. Resign. Drop out. Go home. We don't want you, Joe Biden. Run as a Republican if that's what you want. Bernie is our guy. Not me, us. And the establishment can't understand it.
Why?